Ladies, I want you to listen to me closely today. Relationships are supposed to be built on trust, love, and respect. But sometimes we ignore the signs, the subtle warnings that something just isn't right. We get caught up in the excitement, in the connection, in the hope that things will change. But let me tell you something, if you're ignoring these red flags, you're setting yourself up for heartache, confusion, and unnecessary pain. Emotional unavailability in a man can be one of the most frustrating and damaging experiences in a relationship. At the core of any strong and healthy relationship is an emotional connection. If a man is unable or unwilling to open up about his feelings, vulnerabilities, or experiences, it creates a significant barrier to intimacy. This emotional wall doesn't just prevent deeper connections, it leaves both partners feeling isolated and disconnected. When a man refuses to express his emotions, it can lead to misunderstandings, a lack of support, and an overall sense of loneliness. You might feel like you're constantly trying to pull him into deeper conversations, yet he remains distant, closed off, or disengaged. Over time, this creates a sense of emotional deprivation, leaving one partner yearning for something more substantial while the other remains emotionally distant. Emotional unavailability often manifests in a reluctance to confront or discuss problems in the relationship. Instead of addressing issues head on, a man who is emotionally unavailable may deflect, shut down, or withdraw when conflict arises. This avoidance of difficult conversations prevents growth within the relationship and leaves issues unresolved. The lack of emotional expression also prevents the relationship from evolving or deepening. Without vulnerability, the relationship becomes stagnant, and both partners may feel as though they're merely going through the motions rather than creating a genuine supportive bond. It's also important to recognize that emotional unavailability can sometimes be a defense mechanism. Past trauma, fear of rejection, or previous heartbreaks may be factors that contribute to a man's emotional detachment. However, it is crucial to understand that while these may explain his behavior, they do not excuse it. If the emotional distance continues, it can lead to a toxic, one-sided relationship that drains both individuals involved. Disrespect in a relationship, whether verbal, emotional, or physical, is a red flag that should never be ignored. It is a toxic behavior that erodes trust, love, and the very foundation of the connection between two people. Disrespect can manifest in many ways, such as belittling comments, mocking your ideas, invalidating your feelings, or disregarding your boundaries. Even small, seemingly insignificant comments can gradually chip away at your self-esteem and confidence. Over time, this behavior becomes a pattern, and the more you tolerate it, the more it becomes normalized. What may have started as an occasional insult or criticism can quickly turn into a consistent source of pain and self. A man who disrespects you will not value your opinions, needs, or desires. He might dismiss your thoughts as unimportant or treat your emotions as trivial. This kind of behavior leaves you feeling invisible, unimportant, and unappreciated. It also creates an imbalance in the relationship where one person holds the power to control, manipulate, and diminish the other. Disrespect breeds resentment, making it increasingly difficult to communicate openly and honestly. When your partner disregards your feelings, it becomes harder to trust him and feel safe in the relationship. Disrespect is also evident in how he treats others, not just you. A man who is disrespectful to others, whether it's friends, family, or strangers, shows a lack of basic kindness and empathy. His attitude toward others will often reflect how he truly feels about you, even if he tries to disguise it. If he belittles people around him or exhibits rude, condescending behavior, it is a sign that he is capable of the same treatment toward you. Disrespect is not just a mistake that can be brushed off. It is a pattern that reveals a lack of integrity and maturity. When a man makes you question your self-worth, it's a form of emotional manipulation that can be incredibly damaging to your mental and emotional well-being. A healthy relationship should empower you, make you feel valued, and help you grow as an individual. However, when someone continuously undermines your confidence, it creates a toxic environment that erodes your sense of self. This kind of behavior can be subtle at first, with small comments or actions that make you doubt yourself. He might downplay your accomplishments, mock your ambitions, or question your decisions. Over time, these remarks may seem insignificant, but their cumulative effect can leave you feeling insecure and unsure of your own value. A man who causes you to question your self-worth is often seeking control. By making you feel inferior or inadequate, he positions himself as the one with the power in the relationship. He may manipulate you into believing that you're not enough, that you need to change in order to be worthy of love or attention. This causes you to constantly second guess yourself, seeking validation from him and others rather than trusting your own instincts and judgment. This creates a dangerous dynamic where you begin to rely on his approval for your sense of worth. This emotional manipulation may also lead you to question your appearance, intelligence, and abilities. He may make subtle comments about how you look, how you behave, or how you handle situations, planting seeds of doubt about your true capabilities. Over time, this continuous questioning can make you feel small, insignificant, and unworthy of the love and respect you deserve. It is important to recognize that this type of behavior is not only hurtful, but is a reflection of his inability to appreciate and value you as you are. When a man avoids commitment or accountability, it reveals a deeper fear or inability to take responsibility for his actions and the relationship. Commitment is not just about a title or making promises. It's about showing up consistently, being emotionally available, and investing in the future together. A man who avoids commitment may be unwilling to have serious conversations about where the relationship is headed or may continuously deflect questions about your future together. This creates uncertainty and confusion as you're left unsure of where you stand and what your future holds. A lack of commitment often stems from fear of vulnerability, fear of responsibility, or fear of being hurt. Rather than confront these feelings, he chooses to avoid them altogether, leaving you in a state of emotional limbo. Avoiding accountability goes hand in hand with this fear of commitment. A man who won't own up to his mistakes or refuses to take responsibility for his actions is unwilling to grow or learn from his errors. Instead of addressing issues head on, he might blame external circumstances, shift blame onto you, or pretend that nothing is wrong. This creates a toxic dynamic where problems are never truly solved and trust is eroded. Relationships require two people who can hold themselves accountable for their behavior, admit when they're wrong, and work together to find solutions. If a man is constantly avoiding accountability, it means he's unwilling to do the necessary work to improve the relationship or be the partner you deserve. Avoiding commitment and accountability is a clear sign of emotional immaturity. It shows that he's not ready to invest in building a future with you, and it leaves you questioning whether he truly values the relationship. Consistency in actions is one of the most important aspects of a healthy relationship. Words alone can be powerful, but without follow-through, they mean little. When a man's actions don't align with his words, it creates confusion and distrust. A partner who says one thing but does another is sending mixed signals, leaving you unsure of where you stand and what to expect. This inconsistency can manifest in many ways, promising to change, only to repeat the same behavior, or saying how much he cares but never showing it through thoughtful gestures or meaningful effort. Over time, This lack of alignment between words and actions undermines the foundation of the relationship, creating a feeling of instability and uncertainty. When actions don't match words, it's easy to feel deceived. The disappointment that comes from unmet promises can chip away at your trust and emotional security. You begin to question whether what he says is genuinely how he feels, or if it's just a way to avoid conflict or manipulate the situation. It's important to recognize that actions are the true reflection of a person's intentions. Anyone can say the right things, but only someone who is truly invested in the relationship will make the effort to back up their words with meaningful actions. A man who is consistent in his actions shows that he respects you, values the relationship, and is committed to making it work. This consistency is not just about grand gestures, it's also about the small, everyday things. It's the way he listens when you talk, the effort he puts into resolving conflicts, and the care he takes to maintain the relationship. Inconsistent actions can lead to emotional exhaustion, leaving you questioning whether you're giving more than you're receiving. If a man truly cares, his actions will reflect his words consistently. A partner who builds you up rather than tears you down is essential to a healthy, thriving relationship. It's crucial that you feel supported, valued, and encouraged by the person you choose to share your life with. If a man continually criticizes you, belittles your achievements, or dismisses your emotions, it creates a toxic atmosphere where you're left feeling unworthy or inferior. Over time, these small jabs or dismissive behaviors erode your confidence and self-esteem, making it difficult to maintain a sense of self within the relationship. You start questioning your abilities, your value, and whether you deserve the love and respect you long for. When a man truly cares, he will uplift you, celebrate your successes, and support you during your struggles. Instead of criticizing or undermining you, he will encourage you to pursue your dreams and passions. He will be your biggest cheerleader, not only in the big moments, but also in the day-to-day aspects of life. A healthy partner recognizes your worth and ensures that you feel appreciated for who you are, not just for what you can offer. Building you up means valuing your opinions, respecting your boundaries, and being emotionally available when you need support. On the other hand, a man who constantly tears you down is operating from a place of insecurity or control. This behavior is a reflection of his inability to make you feel safe and valued in the relationship. It creates an imbalance where one person is constantly putting the other down in an attempt to feel superior. If you're always the one who feels dismissed or unimportant, this is a red flag that should never be ignored. A loving partner should enhance your sense of self-worth, not diminish it. Gaslighting and emotional manipulation are some of the most insidious behaviors in a relationship, often leaving one person feeling confused, powerless, and unsure of their own reality. Gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse where a man deliberately makes you doubt your own perceptions, memories, or sanity. It often starts small, with him twisting the truth or denying things that have clearly happened. Over time, these distortions create a toxic environment where you're questioning your own judgment and feeling like you're always overreacting. Gaslighting is dangerous because it erodes your sense of self and can lead to long-term emotional damage. Emotional manipulation, on the other hand, involves using tactics like guilt tripping, playing the victim, or making you feel responsible for his emotions. It's a way of controlling the relationship by making you feel responsible for his happiness, well-being, or actions. This creates an unhealthy dynamic where you're constantly walking on eggshells, trying to meet his needs or avoid his anger, and sacrificing your own needs in the process. A man who engages in emotional manipulation will often shift the blame onto you, even when it's clear that he is the one at fault. This tactic not only deflects responsibility, but also makes you feel like you're the one causing the problems, which can lead to unnecessary guilt and self-doubt. Both gaslighting and emotional manipulation are forms of control, and they severely impact your ability to trust yourself, your decisions, and your feelings. They create an unstable foundation where you feel like you're always second guessing yourself, unsure of what's real and what's been twisted. If you're experiencing either of these behaviors in a relationship, it's important to recognize them as serious red flags that undermine your emotional health and sense of security. When a man refuses to communicate openly about the future, it signals a lack of investment in the relationship and an unwillingness to make meaningful plans together. A healthy relationship requires both partners to have a shared vision and to be able to openly discuss what lies ahead, whether it's long-term goals, career aspirations, or where you both see the relationship evolving. If a man avoids these conversations or dismisses them altogether, it creates an air of uncertainty. This lack of communication about the future often leaves you wondering where you truly stand and whether you can count on him to be there for the long haul. A man who is truly committed to you and the relationship will be open to having difficult conversations about the future. He will be willing to discuss not just his dreams and ambitions, but also your shared dreams as a couple. He will want to know what you both envision for your lives together and will take steps to make that vision a reality. If he consistently shuts down these conversations, it may mean that he is not ready for the level of commitment you desire, or that he is keeping his options open, unwilling to fully invest in the relationship. This avoidance of serious discussions also prevents growth within the relationship. Without a clear understanding of where you're both headed, it's easy for the connection to feel stagnant. When one partner is unwilling to engage in these discussions, it can lead to a sense of imbalance, as one person feels ready to move forward while the other remains hesitant or disengaged. The inability to communicate about the future reflects a deeper issue, either fear of commitment or a lack of interest in taking the relationship to the next level. You deserve a partner who respects your boundaries and values your needs, and any man who disregards these is sending a clear message that he does not truly respect you. Boundaries are essential in any healthy relationship. They are the lines we draw to protect our physical, emotional, and mental well-being. When a man constantly pushes against or dismisses your boundaries, it indicates a lack of respect for who you are and what you need in the relationship. This could look like pressuring you into doing things you're uncomfortable with, disregarding your need for space, or continuously crossing limits you've set. A man who values you and respects your boundaries will take the time to understand what you need and will honor those needs without complaint. Whether it's emotional boundaries, physical boundaries, or personal space, a respectful partner will recognize that your boundaries are a reflection of your individuality and will support them without trying to manipulate or coerce you into changing them. If he is constantly testing, ignoring, or violating your boundaries, this is a serious red flag. It signals that he does not see you as an equal partner in the relationship, but as someone to control or use for his own desires. Disrespecting boundaries also undermines trust. When you feel like your boundaries are not being respected, it creates a sense of insecurity and fear. You begin to feel like you can't express your needs without being dismissed or violated, which can lead to emotional exhaustion and a breakdown in communication. A relationship should be a safe space where both partners feel comfortable being themselves without fear of judgment or exploitation. If a man doesn't respect your boundaries, it's not just a matter of inconvenience, it's a violation of your right to have your needs met and to be treated with the dignity and care you deserve. Trusting your intuition is one of the most powerful tools you have when navigating a relationship. When something feels off or you sense that something isn't right, it's important to pay attention to those feelings. Often, we ignore our instincts because we want to believe the best in our partner, or we fear that confronting uncomfortable truths will lead to conflict or disappointment. But ignoring those gut feelings can lead to more harm and confusion down the road. Your intuition is a reflection of your deeper awareness, built from past experiences and your own emotional intelligence. It's there for a reason, guiding you away from situations that may not serve your best interests. If something feels wrong in a relationship, whether it's the way you're being treated, the inconsistencies you're noticing, or the red flags that keep appearing, it's essential not to dismiss them. Trusting your instincts means honoring the feelings of discomfort, doubt, or unease that arise. It means acknowledging that something may not align with your values or needs, even if it's not immediately obvious on the surface. When you trust your intuition, you allow yourself to be in tune with your emotions and needs, empowering yourself to make decisions that protect your well-being. Ignoring your gut feelings can lead to staying in unhealthy situations, prolonging heartache, and compromising your values for the sake of trying to make things work. Your intuition is telling you what words and actions cannot. When your instincts are urging you to step back, take a closer look, or reassess the relationship, it's important to listen. Trusting yourself and your intuition allows you to make choices that honor your worth and help you build a relationship that supports your happiness and peace of mind.